Hey, what's up, guys? It's Sebastian. Just got out of the shower, so my hair is a little crazy. This is a PSA. If you are a nice guy, if you're a kind person, and you don't, you prefer not to get involved in conflict and get uncomfortable and have high pressure situations or conversations and kind of call people out, sales can be really difficult for you. I can only speak on the remote high ticket stuff that I've done. Maybe corporate is a little bit different, but I talk like this. I'm super reserved. I'm super chill. I like to laugh. I like to smile. I like to crack jokes. I'm not one to impose my will on people, especially if it's another adult. Who am I to just tell them how they should think or not, or what they should do, you know? But the thing with a lot of what coaches teach in the high ticket space is it involves conflict. It involves being very confrontational and entering a high pressure situation. You can call it objection handling. You can even do this throughout the duration of a call because a lot of people will have resistance. A lot of people, whether they have been in business or not, whether they've been burned in the past or not, a lot of people will not just readily sign up for a program where they have to spend 2,500 bucks, 6,000 bucks, 25,000 bucks like what I'm selling right now. They're going to have some reservations, they're going to put up some walls and some resistance. And you can frame it however you want. You can spin it in all these different directions. There's some guys who say, "Oh, you have to break their limiting beliefs that have kept them in this position and prevented them from getting ahead," which is a very cookie cutter way of approaching it. It's very blanket, it's very general, because you might be talking to a guy who's already started multiple businesses and he's worth seven, even eight figures. He doesn't have limiting beliefs about making an extra 20, 30 grand or 50, 100 grand a month from some AI automation thing. Not necessarily, anyways. But here's the thing. In fact, just what I'm about to say, I'm questioning myself about it because there's two ways to approach it. You can either be kind of logical and acknowledge that you could be wrong. And in fact, most of the time, we're wrong about things. People on the internet, gurus, whoever you see claiming that their way is the right way or that XYZ is the wrong way, they're wrong in a lot of cases. But they speak with such conviction that you wouldn't think so, that you completely take them for their word. And also, they speak with a really strong tone of voice. They show up with a lot of intensity. They raise their voice, and they're very cognizant of their facial expressions. They're not smiling. There's no way that you could regard them as a goof or someone who's not serious. See what I did there? People put on a mask when they get on calls. People put on a mask when they get in front of the camera. Like our good buddy, our good two brothers from the UK, the US, who went to the Romania and got in a whole bunch of trouble. Those guys are experts at wearing various masks. And so, if you, again, I'm sorry this is so convoluted, but there's so many different schools of thought. There's so many different approaches to this. There's people who say, oh, you can be totally genuine and authentic in the way that you sell. Maybe. If you're selling for someone else, it's a little more difficult because obviously there's limitations on what you can and can't say. If you swear at the prospect or if you make them extremely uncomfortable, if you really cross the line, so to speak, management probably isn't going to like that. However, if you're selling your own thing, anything goes. I mean, literally, you can you can insult the guy to kingdom come, and it means nothing. Sure, he might badmouth you after getting off the call and not buying, but who cares? There's so many other people that you can speak to. The difficulty isn't just doing your own thing and spending your own money on getting leads and advertising and what have you. So, what's the main point behind this video? The point is, I don't know what the point is. The point is, you got to try different things. If you have been finding in sales, in business, in life in general, especially with dating, that this kind, impartial, nice guy, right in the middle approach is not really working for you, then maybe it makes sense to put on that mask of the macho guy, the strong, stoic type, who isn't fazed by anything and who speaks his mind and completely stands by everything he says, even though it could be wrong. But he has no doubt in anything that he claims. He shows up 100%, and basically people can take it or leave it. And if they don't like him, they can bugger off. If they do like him, then great. They can buy something from him. They can be his friend. They can be his romantic partner, whatever it is. So you can take that approach, and maybe it'll work for you. Or whatever it is, it's a game. Communication is a game. I think what really trips people up, no matter which path they choose, is they apply the same methods and the same approach to every single kind of person. I would be lying if I said that I haven't gotten any success with the way I've approached sales, because I have had quite a few people sign up. And especially, I remember when I was selling fitness coaching, I spoke to a lot of women. And my approach with women seemed to be pretty effective because they did not do that well under pressure at all. I mean, sure, there was some light application of it, but for the most part, I think they just really appreciated that they could speak to someone who could convey that they cared and was trying to be genuine. That's another issue, and that's the last thing I'm going to wrap this video up as well with. You're getting paid. You wouldn't be doing the job if you weren't getting paid. Let's be completely real and candid about that. Now, the thing is, if they're not going to speak with you, they're going to be speaking with someone else. And that next person, they might not care. They might really just have commission breath on them at all times. So the least you can do as a professional is do your best to care. Even though you've never met this person, it's not even about the individual. It's about the message. It's about the fact that, again, if you're selling fitness coaching, for example, you can't necessarily care that much about Rhonda or Susan or Anna because you don't know that much about her. But you do know that all of them have been trying to lose weight. You do know that it's affecting their self-esteem in some way, shape, or form to certain degrees. You do know that if they keep the extra 50 or 100 pounds on, that they're going to be miserable later on because of their self-image, because of health issues, and it's going to affect the rest of their family and their children and everyone. And so your mission in general is to make sure that more people can achieve a transformation and level up in life and feel better and get healthier, look better, and just enjoy all the spoils and all the benefits of eating healthy, living a healthy lifestyle. Same thing comes to a business opportunity like what I'm selling right now. I can't care that much about Steve or Randy or what was the other guy's name who I signed on recently? Jimmy. But I can care about the fact that they're killing themselves working 12, 14, 16-hour days, doing something in person where they're running from one appointment to another, and they're getting taxed up the wazoo. They have no location freedom, and especially if they're in Canada, and y'all know how I feel about my home country, they're stuck there and having to continue dealing with the decline as their purchasing power continues to fall, and they see the fabric of their society and culture continue to be ripped apart by, well, You know what I'm talking about. So lots of different stuff to talk about in this video. I was just super angry in the gym today when I thought about all the time I've been wasting on these sales calls with people who just give me objections, they don't buy, or they tell me that they're going to look it over and do their research. They still don't understand how it works, all this crap. And then they disappear. I hound them down. They don't answer calls, nothing, or they're so indecisive. It's just frustrating. And so if you have to take a radically different approach, that might just be the only way. Because if the way that you've been approaching whatever it is, again, it could be sales, could be relationships, could be any skill, if it's not working, if it's not yielding the results you want, what do you really have to lose by switching it up completely? And if that means being fake and switching up your voice and adopting a new personality, even if it's just while you're on camera, changing your appearance, changing your clothes, whatever it is, some people out there, your competition, will stop at nothing. They will do anything to get that edge. So if they're willing to do that, how much further ahead do you think you're going to get? You're just going to stay stuck and hope that what you're doing and maybe making some small tweaks here and there is actually going to help.